I certainly can go. So when we talk about Fred Warner and that 49ers defense, how similarly does he play to Bobby Wagner, meaning the looks you get in practice would be kind of close?
Yeah, I'm not going to compare anybody to Bobby, but he's a hell of a player. I spoke last time we prepared for these guys. I remember him as a rookie and seeing him out there running around in number 47. He's the field general of the defense. He's in charge. He's driving everything. The system plays through him, which I think is very similar to what we do here. You know, you let those guys run around and make plays. He's a dynamite player. Good in the run, good in the pass, good pressure rusher. Does a really nice job on third down trying to create. He's involved in their picks and games inside, trying to get, defensive linemen freed up on games. He's a hell of a player. To compare him to somebody else, I think he's done a pretty good job of establishing himself as one of the best linebackers in football.
And on those third downs, the Niners have been really good at getting teams off the field and forcing 3-and-outs. What is it about their defensive looks in that situation?
They mix it up. They do a really nice job of mixing things up. They change their coverages, different fronts, good pressure packages. They, like most teams, they try to get you into one-on-one situations with your offensive linemen where they can run picks in games and try to get guys knocked off of individual blocks. But good scheme, and they mix it up very, very well. They do a nice job of changing up the looks, and that makes it hard on teams.
Corbin?
Hey, Brian, kind of going off that, you've had some really great battles going against Robert Saleh's defense the last couple of years, constantly bringing the best out of one another. Both your names have been making rounds in head coaching circles here the last few weeks. When you compare it to some of the other coordinators that you face off against frequently, what has that competition meant to you when you consider what he's been able to bring out of this defense with all the injuries they've had this year?
Yeah, it's amazing. I have a lot of respect, Corbin, for Robert, the whole staff, the way those guys play. I mean, you look at the injuries that they've suffered, and it's part of the game, right? But they've had so many of them. Those guys play so hard. I think a testament to any defense is when you watch the film and you look at the first quarter, the way they pursue to the ball, and you look at the fourth quarter when they've played 55, 60 plays, those guys still run and they chase, and the big guys really lead the charge. Guys like Hyder and Armstead, those guys, I mean, they come ripping out of stacks, chasing plays downfield. That's a testament to their love for the staff, the way that those guys motivate them and push them. So it's never easy going up against this group.
John Boyle?
Yeah, Brian, how encouraging is what you saw in the second half against such a good Rams defense to get those 2 touchdown drives, the third down numbers, the way Russ played, just the way that all came together?
Well, I think it shows us, we felt good about the matchups. They're a great defense. I mean, they do a really nice job. We knew there'd be moments that would be difficult. We knew that they would get their shots in there and slow us down, but thought the adjustments at halftime were really good. We made some really good adjustments. But the biggest thing, John, probably is that going in at halftime, everybody was calm. I mean, nobody was in a panic. Nobody was worried. We obviously had not played our best football, but we talked through some of the issues as a staff. We got some things cleaned up that we wanted to get cleaned up, and we went out and the execution just went to a different notch. Playing a great defense, sometimes it takes you a little while to get going. And the more you run plays and the more you figure, okay, hey, this is how the players instinctively figure out better ways to block things. And we as a staff figure out, okay, they're doing this, so we need to go to that. And, Russ will always play big in big moments. I mean, he's just going to do that. But it wasn't just him. I mean, you look at Noe makes a big catch, late in that game. Jake Hollister, Freddie Swain gets put in a spot literally on the touchdown that I think he repped one time. The last couple of weeks we've had that play up. We've repped it. It's always been different guys, and it's really never been Freddie. So here's a young player, goes in, critical point in the game, and he does it perfect. And Jake does it perfect. And so that's what gets you excited about this group. They were poised. They were calm. Let's just keep doing what we do. We have a lot of belief, and we know how good we are, and it was cool to see us perform so well.
Jackie?
Hey, Shotty. This time last year, you guys were pulling Marshawn Lynch out of retirement. You had Robert Turbin come in to help add depth to the running back group. How reassuring is it to have your top 3 running backs going into Week 17 into the postseason?
It's exciting. You guys see the way Chris is playing. Last couple weeks, it's he's running so hard and he's making so many impactful, explosive plays. He's got to be a nightmare to tackle. I look at some of these DBs that have to try to wrap him up at the second level, and he's getting stronger. He's getting stronger, and that's, again, one of the benefits, if you can find one, of missing some time is you're stronger. You feel good. Your legs, your body's not as beaten up as it normally is this time of year. And, Carlos, just what he's brought to us, another physical player. But the guy that I really think is going to have a breakout moment at some point is going to be Rashad. I think he's really close. Again, we've managed him the right way, in our opinion, but at some point we're gonna let him go a little bit more, and we're getting close to that point.
Bob.
Hey, Brian. How do you assess sort of where your offense is right now? You start out the season, the first 7 or 8 games, you're just throwing touchdown passes after touchdown passes and so many explosive plays, and you sort of had to adjust to it a little bit. Do you feel like you're still basically just as effective, but just doing it in a different way, or when you look at the numbers, does that anything you need to get back to trying to be more of that?
No, I don't think so, Bob. I think, we've played some really good defenses as of late. I think we all forget a couple weeks ago we took a pretty good Jets defense and put up 40 on them, doing it, a certain way. We found some things out early in the year. I mean, we found some things out where, when you are throwing it and having the success that you have, what happens is teams started adjusting and we started getting really third down defenses on second down. So you're getting all these different crazy blitz looks and stuff, and that is a challenge. It's a challenge for anybody, but I think we're playing with a lot of confidence right now. Again, we played some of our best football in that second half against the Rams, who, again, I think are tremendous group. So it doesn't matter how we do it. We're looking for the dub. DK's going to still be out there. Tyler's going to be out there. We're going to have our backs, and so we don't care how we do it. We still believe we're one of the top offenses in the NFL.
Tim?
Hey, Brian, piggybacking on that a little bit, DK's obviously not having maybe the big chunk plays that he had earlier in the year. Obviously, coverages are being rolled a little bit more toward him because of what he did earlier in the year. How have you seen him sort of handle that adjustment, and what's the next, I guess, step for him in sort of or is this the next step in him learning how to still be effective if he's getting extra help rolled to him during the game?
Yeah, Tim, I don't think he has blinked. I mean, you watch the way people have played us as of late. I'll use the Redskins, for example, and then the Giants. I mean, people want to play us really soft, 2-shell coverage, cover 4, cover 2. That's great. I mean, the Vikings did it to us 2 years ago, and we rushed for 250 yards. I mean, whatever we rushed for against the Redskins. So, again, I think DK understands it. He's a really smart football player. He's like, these guys are playing really, really soft. Okay, how can I impact the game? Maybe it's in run blocking, or maybe it's some third down. He had a couple big third down conversions for us against the Redskins. So our players are smart. They understand. I mean, people see us and they know that we're dangerous. And so, again, go back to you pick your poison. You want to play a soft and play a bunch of 2-shell? We're okay with that. We'll keep handing the ball to Chris and Carlos and Rashad. And at some point, they're going to come out of that look, whether it's third down or whatever it is, and then we'll go hunt up those guys that are such great players.
Joe.
Brian, how much confidence does a drive like that at the end of the game give you against a great defense? You close it out 8 plays or 9 plays, 80 yards, whatever it was, and take some of the pressure off the defense and make it a 2-score game, especially on the heels of a game where you guys didn't find that score late in the Washington game.
Yeah. Again, it was great football. It was great execution. And the thing that I liked about it was, honestly, we did it different ways, right? We threw it some, we ran it some. Chris had an explosive run in there at some point, 14, 15-yard run, just an explosive physical finish on the safety. Couple third down conversions in there, the big one being to Jake, big play to Tyler. So it was a cool thing to see our guys do it in a game where we had struggled early. But I'm going to go back to the fact that we weren't surprised by it in the second half because our guys were so calm and relaxed at halftime. Like, okay, we're going to move this over here and move that into this spot, and now let's go execute. You know, you're still looking for guys to make plays. I mean, a guy that helped start that whole thing in the second half was Demo. I mean, that play that Demo made down our boundary, 3rd down and 9 or 10 when Rush gets flushed out of the pocket. I mean, that's a huge, huge play. That was an unbelievable catch. So those individual efforts sometimes are cool because they ignite something in the group that allows you to go and do what we were able to do. But, again, I think we're playing really good football right now. This will be another tremendous challenge against a really good defense, but we're very confident going into the game.
Michael Sean.
Hey, Shotty, aside from maybe points scored, what are some of the most important statistics you look at to gauge whether your offense is succeeding or not?
I think for us, probably 3rd down. I just feel like when we're doing really well on 3rd down or avoiding 3rd down is when we've had some of our best games. I can't remember exactly the numbers, but there's been a few games where we've come out of games with 8 or 9 3rd downs only, which is a low number. And that tells you that you're functioning at a really high level because you're staying out of those situations. So after the point scored, I'd say 3rd down is critical. The other one that, again, I talked about last week is time of possession. You know, when we're clicking on all cylinders, we're able to control the ball and still have explosive plays and possessing the ball for 31, 32 minutes. We're really good when we do that. You know, we're really good in those situations where we got the ball for over 30 minutes. The last couple weeks have been harder. We've only had the ball 27 minutes, I think, the last 2 games, and some of that was 3rd down issues in both games. So 3rd down and time of possession are probably the 2 that jump out at me.
The explosive plays have been down, like you mentioned, since like the Buffalo game for the most part. How much of that is just missing on some of the opportunities you were hitting? I'm thinking of like the Freddie catch against Washington,
Yeah.
or like the overthrow to Tyler this last Sunday, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's part of it. I think it's also part of the fact that, you know, there's plays that we're just coming up a hair short of that we hit probably early in the season. But I think it also looks at teams have said, okay, we see those 2 guys out there. We're going to play soft a little bit and make you work underneath and run the football. And it's a combination of both, I think. But there's certainly been some explosives that we've just been really, really – I mean, DK, the first play of the second half against Philadelphia, right, just off his fingertips, probably going to be an 85 or 80-yard touchdown pass. So we've barely missed on a few of those.
Curtis.
Hey, Brian, how about Tyler and the way he's going right now? I think he only has 1 touchdown in the last 9 games since the really huge game against Arizona. I know he was nicked up there for a little bit with the ankle and such, but how do you kind of feel he is right now? I know you mentioned the shell coverage is probably taking some of the deep shots away from you guys. Where is he with everything at this moment?
Well, if he got any help from DK, then he'd be better because DK's over here giving me trouble. You want to talk to these guys next? You talking to him next? Oh, it's on the agenda? Okay. DK wants me to hurry up. I'm not worried about Tyler at all. Tyler's a great player. They come in bunches. You know, they come in bunches. All of a sudden, you come out of a game with 1 or 2 catches. Had a huge play in the last game, right? The conversion to the deep out route that we hit to him. We're looking for those W's. We just keep stacking these wins, and Tyler's going to do that for us. He's going to help us win a lot of football games. He's done that. But I think he's in a really good mental space with how he's playing. And, of course, everybody wants to get more touches and things like that. But with 1 ball and not knowing how the game's going to unfold, he just wants the dub.
It did seem like his couple catches sparked you on that last drive quite a bit.
Some really, really big plays for us. Some really big plays. And that's what you don't worry about. You don't worry about with the guys that we've got, DK, Tyler, Jake, Dis. They're going to make plays, and when they make plays, we feed off of that. And I think that momentum is something we were able to capture in the second half, and look what it did for us.
All right, last one, Greg Bell.
Hi, Brian. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What dimension does Rashad Penny bring? He's a different back than the other 2.
Yeah, explosive speed, just different speed. I mean, all the backs are fast, but he's explosive speed. Big, upright slasher, really good route runner. Most of our backs can do that. But I think the biggest thing probably right now would be fresh legs. Just, again, coming back and not having played early part of the season. He's fresh. He looks fast. And we've kind of been holding him back a little bit with the rotation, but we think he's pretty close and raring for us to let him go.
As a play caller, do you think you've ever had him full at your full disposal in the 3 years you've been here?
You talking about Rashad or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year he was playing unbelievable football before he got hurt. We talked a little bit about it. He really matured as a player and understanding his role and different things. But what I see out here on the practice field is dangerous for the league and exciting for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. This next interview will not be as exciting as this one, I promise you.